Okay, let's get into the uptrend break and retest. This is setup number 1. This is the one that I want you to master. I want you to know how to trade it in your sleep. That's how familiar you should become with this particular setup. This is one of the easiest setups to identify and trade. If you cannot master this one, you're leaving a lot of money on the table and a lot of opportunities on the table. This is the first one that should go into your playbook. This is easy. All of the prop firm traders, all of the prop firms, they have the beginner traders start off with certain setups. And this is the one that I want everyone in Profit X to start off with. So the way that this setup goes is we're going to look at, I'm always going to use references. Number 1, market structure. Number 2, zones. Number 3 is entry signal. Okay. So for the uptrend break and retest, we want to identify the phase that we are in. We want to first identify that first. That gives us the first advantage. Now, some of you all may ask about news. News, the way that I see it, is only a catalyst to push price in the direction that it's going in. If price goes in the opposite direction, you'll see what you need to see in order to enter the market from the other direction. But as long as we are in an uptrend, if we are in the markup phase, then I want you to be looking for buys and I want you to stay with the trend. So what this consists of, okay, let's look at this here. So we have in the blue line is our long-term trend line. So that's like a daily, okay? And the yellow would be the medium term, okay? So if you see the medium is going to have some downtrending that it's doing, but primarily what we want to be looking at is buying. So if there's any downtrends with the medium term, then those are temporary. And later on, we'll talk about how you could trade those, but I highly recommend that you don't. I highly recommend that you stay with the trend and master that first. So we want to identify that it's an uptrend first. If it's an uptrend, then we want to be marking the long-term and medium-term zones. And those are the zones that we want to trade from. And then when price, so here I have marked this up as an entry zone. Why? Because if you look at, this was a resistance for the medium term, the price is going up, okay? And when the long term pulls back to this area here, this is an entry zone. As the long term goes up and the medium term goes up back to a previous resistance and breaks through it, that's an entry zone. As price continues up with the long term and the medium, as you break this swing point right here, that's another entry zone, okay? And likewise, that's how we will be looking at our zones. I'm going to show you in the chart in a few minutes. We're going to do 3 different instruments, okay? 3 different pairs. So, but then once we know that it's uptrending and we mark our long-term and medium-term zones to trade from, when prices come and approach that zone, the strongest confirmation is to have a candle on the lower time frame, like the 15-minute candle. This is the combination that I use for US 30. But you may have to look at, if you're using different pairs, you may have to look at the combinations for those pairs. It may be slightly different because US 30 is a little faster. Some of you may be able to use the 30-minute candle. Some of you may be able to use the 1-minute candle, but it's the same principle. And then also what makes it even better is if you can use a 5-minute break of structure. With these 2 confirmations, most of the time in the zone, when you see these 2, that price is going in your favor. The majority, when you ask about how do I have a 70%, 75, 80% win rate in different times, right? It's because of that. It's those confirmations in the zone. So let's look at the chart. Let's go to the chart. And we're going to look at right now. Okay, so we're going to look at GBP/JPY, known as GJ first. So what I do is, as I mentioned, you can look at the monthly and the weekly, but normally I don't mark up those zones. I actually look at the daily time frame mainly because it is, to me, the most accurate when it comes to the most recent aggressive buyers, the most recent aggressive sellers, right? So if I plan on taking, buying up offers for this week or 2 weeks, right? it's going to take me some time if I'm a big buyer. So what I'm seeing daily, the daily big daily candles, or if I'm seeing sell candles, then it's kind of communicating what these people are doing on a daily basis, right? They are active on a daily basis. So if I look at GJ, where it currently is, I see an opportunity, okay? If you look at GJ, overall, it's been ranging between these two zones. Price comes up here, all these touches here, it's been ranging, mainly just been ranging. But what happened here though, is I had the price come down here and it came up to this area and then it broke and made a new high here. So what I'm going to be looking at is, number one, I'm going to be marking up these two zones, okay, as potential places for price to come back to and react to for it to continue higher. So what I'm going to do is, once I have a direction based on the daily time frame, look at this, okay? So we had, this was going down, price came, created a high, okay, higher than this one, high, higher, low, okay, as we talked about market structure. So when we looked at the diagrams in our presentations, those diagrams were pretty. But when we look at diagrams in the market, I mean, when we look at the chart in the market, it's not going to be as pretty, right? So we're looking for the higher low to be somewhere, okay, on the daily. Now, sometimes the daily doesn't give a lot of structure. Like if you look at this, it's not a lot of structure here. So, but the daily will give us, that's the first place we start to get the overall momentum. If we look at the 4 hour though, if we go down to the 4 hour time frame, then the 4 hour is what will give us more information. So that's what I do. Daily, then I go to the 4 hour, and then I get more information from the 4 hour, okay? So what I'm looking at here is, if I tighten up the zones, my first area of buying interest will be here, okay? That's my first area if I'm looking at break and retest, okay? Second area potentially here, okay? Because those are two zones that price broke through. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch, okay? So I'm going to now, if we go back to our confirmations, number one, market structure is going upward now. Number two, the zones, I have some strong zones here. If you look to the left here, when price came to this zone as well, if we look at where it was touching here, all of here, this was a place of traffic. And then this zone here, those are my zones of interest. So you want to have at least two zones of interest and scenarios, which we'll talk about later with the if-then statements and if-then scenarios. But I'm hoping that it pulls back deeper here. If it pulls back deeper to this zone, then I'm going to sell. I'm going to buy. So now, once I have those three, now I'm looking for entry confirmations. Okay. So I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute. Okay. And when I'm looking at the 15-minute, okay, so as we let the candles play out, we'll see the price come to our zone. Okay. And if we look at the 4 hour time frame, right? The 4 hour time frame has a structure that we're looking for too. 4 hour higher high. We're looking for a higher low. Okay. Higher low right here. Okay. Then we also have a higher low right here, right? So this is the market structure that we learned about. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And we're anticipating a higher high. So now what we will do is, let's see what session. The session is about to open for London. So we're going to go to the lower time frame. So price is in our zone. Okay. And now this is the 2 o'clock. We're going to see what happens for the London Open. Okay. So as price pushes down at the open, we have a bearish candle, okay, on the 1 hour. And then price goes down, but now we have a bullish candle on the 1 hour in the zone, deep in the zone. So for me, with this being in the zone and the 1 hour candle, this bullish candle, okay, this is enough for me to enter into the trade and hold it at least up to here. Big bullish candle in the zone. Take profit will be up here, but sometimes I'll drop it. I'll put it a little bit lower just in case it rejects sooner. Okay. So TP here, using the candle, the bullish candle after the open in the zone, okay, as an entry, and the stop loss below the candle. If you don't feel comfortable, you can put your stop loss, give it a little bit more breathing room, okay? And then we watch this play out, boom, okay? So I'll teach you more strategies on opening half at the candle close and half at the 50% of the candle. But for now, just talking about understanding the process. Market structure, zone, candle. So here, look at this. Price goes up, hits our TP. That's one setup, okay? That's one setup right there. So if we go back out and look at it, what happened here? Market structure, 4 hour higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, okay? We got a candle in the zone and boom, we were able to shoot it. It hit our TP, okay? Now, there's something else that we want to see. We can also see if price comes back to the zone, okay? Now we're going to open up another pair. Okay, so now another example with GBP, JPY. So remember, I want to show you something. Now, we talked about how when the daily is uptrending, we talked about how the 4 hour, the medium trend, will have to go to a downtrend. So I'm going to show you a scenario that confuses a lot of traders. So here we have 4 hour higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low. Okay, this is the 4 hour. So now if we look at this, look at what happens. We have a big bearish candle that broke that zone. That was one of our zones to buy from. And it now is rejecting at the other zone that we were going to buy from. What happens is sometimes traders see this break of structure. There's a new low on the 4 hour. So they say, oh, we're selling now, right? They start to say, oh, we're selling. So when price comes back up here, they'll be looking for a sell. But this is, I can see why, and I thought the same as well. But if you go back up to the daily time frame, this is the daily higher low we were looking for. Price could have just went and bounced from this zone and kept going, but we don't know. So we have to take both trades, or I take both trades. So now that price is at the daily zone and now we have the daily higher low. Okay. Even though it looks like it's going to sell on the 4 hour, I am continuing my bias with the longer term move. So what I'm going to do is drop down to the 15-minute, okay, on GJ, and I'm going to see if I have a break of structure, okay? So here we have a small little structure here, bullish engulfing on the daily zone, okay? Bullish engulfing here. We have some small candles, bearish candles, small candles here. So once price comes and breaks this zone here, the 15-minute zone, this for me is an indication that price is going to go back up and I can aim for my target. So here I'm going to put my stop loss here, and my target is going to be at least 1 to 3 back up, going back up because this is the daily high or low. If you get a tighter entry, you can put it at this zone. Like if you get a tighter entry, you can hold it. You can try to reduce it. If the price comes back up down here and you get an entry, you can hold it up to this zone. But price most likely going with the daily will go up here. Okay. So the 15-minute is showing us nice signs of a buy. So price comes back, it hits our limit order, and we're in now. So we could hold it up to the 1 to 3 for one of our positions, and another position can go here. So price comes, this is rejection on top of this zone here. So if you didn't enter from a limit order, you can enter here now, right? These are bullish candles. So the 15-minute is giving us break of structure. 30-minute, we have Dragonfly Doji right here. Bullish candles, okay? So we have the confirmations on the lower time frame. The 1 hour gave us an inside bar with the bullish engulfing. Another bullish candle here on the 1 hour. Nothing but candles that are giving us confirmation, okay? All of these confirmations here are showing us that it's time for us to buy, okay? 5-minute break of structure comes back to this area where we have the 15-minute break of structure. Once you have the 15-minute break of structure, there's nothing else you need to see below. That's it. 15-minute break of structure, we're good. Price comes here, you enter, put your stop loss here if you want to be safe. This is safe stop loss. You have your 1 to 3, and that's your entry. So price goes all the way back up to this target. Why? That was our daily higher high, what we were looking for. So whatever happens after that, you don't have to worry. It hit your target, you're out. Okay, let's see. Price continues up because this is a daily trend. Look at this. Okay, this is a daily trend. As I mentioned, we want to be with the aggressive buyers. They're rallying the market up. So we have a buy position here, another buy position there. Okay, and then we have more coming. Now that we broke this high, we can go to the 4-hour time frame again. Broke above this zone, and there are going to be more opportunities for us. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. Now we're going to do one more. I'm going to go to part 3 of this video. We're going to do one more, and that is going to be with US 30. Okay, so we are going to look at an example on US 30. I saved US 30 for last because US 30 is a little more challenging. You have to look at the lower time frame, but I know we have some people that love indices in the group. And so we want to make sure we touch on the indices. So let's say we open up the chart and we're looking at this. What we want to do is we want to identify a few things right away, right? So price was in the decline. Okay, price was in the decline, right? An obvious decline. So price was in the decline phase itself here. And then price went into some accumulation here, right? Just some ranging. So we had a lower low here, okay? That seems to be broken to create a new high. Okay, so we're keeping that in mind, right? So, but price is ranging in between here, these 2 points, okay? So this appears to be a lower high. Okay, so we're gonna look back. So it's not, we don't just mark up zones. We need to look at the trend, okay? Because the trend is going to tell us where the aggressive buyers and sellers are, okay? Because that's what we're looking for. We wanna be with them. That's it, that's all. The zones themselves help us find where we're going to enter, but we need to be aware of what phase we're in so that we can see where the aggressive buyers and sellers are at most likely. So we were in a, we were here we had a break of structure. We're trending up, and then here structure broke here. So we have a new low created here on the daily. Okay. So price was trending upwards. This is a higher low to go up, but price didn't go up. It broke that structure, created a new low, came up here, created a lower high. Okay. And then continued down. So this is our lower high on the daily. This is a lower low, but then price comes and creates what appears to be a new high. Okay. So daily, new high. That's what it appears to be. Okay. So now, but price comes here and ranges. See, so this is indecision here, letting us know that this is most likely it could potentially be the accumulation when price just stays in a particular zone between two areas. So these are a few days, okay? This is 17 days ranging here, okay? So now, we could have bought here, but that's another setup. Right now, we're just talking about the daily break and retest, okay? Our break and retest with the 4 hour and the daily combination, okay? So when price breaks above here, this is a confirmation that the buyers have taken control. So this was a resistance, right? So price came here, big bullish engulfing, big bullish, almost dragonfly doji here, but that momentum was consumed and there was too much sell pressure here, so pushed it down. Price came up again, too much sell pressure, pushed it down. Price broke through, and remember, when it breaks through an area where there's a lot of sell pressure at one point, that means that supply, that pressure is no longer there. So those aggressive buyers can now push the market up. So we have this zone. Now we're going to go to the lower time frame. So as we go to the lower time frame, okay, we had some buys already. Like buys here, buys here, buys here, okay? So now we're going to look at, this is the end of the day. We're going to let this play out through London, okay? So you'll find that normally I'm watching the sessions. So right now this is Asian session, this is London, okay? And I'm going to be looking for New York, what's going to happen at New York. So price continues to decline here, okay? So keeping the big picture in mind, we're on a daily higher low. So we're continuing to believe that we're going up. We're continuing to think that we're going up until we have something violate the structure, okay? So price is sinking lower and lower, okay? And I believe this zone, let me see, I'm gonna check our 4 hour. Yeah, so we're still in the zone, okay? So we're still in the zone, the 4 hour. See here? Still in the zone. Even though the 4 hour looks like this, it's okay because this is the swing high on the 4 hour, okay? So going back to structure, we talked about daily structure. Now we look at the 4 hour structure, okay? 4 hour, higher high. This was a higher high. This is a higher low. Okay. Now what is here? Higher low. Okay. And we won't change our bias until there's a strong break here that will give us pause to believe that it could potentially be selling. Okay. So until we have a strong break, we're still looking at buy scenarios. It's just deeper into the zone now. Okay, because look, remember, for price to break this zone, now that it's already broken, for price to break it again, it has to have strong, aggressive sellers. And this sell momentum is looking very weak. So I'm going to see what happens around NY. So let's speed up. Okay, so price is just going a little bit lower. 7:15, 7:30, boom. Okay. So now at the 8 o'clock, when I see price down in the zone, okay, when I see the price like this, it's going out like it's going to break, and then price does a big shoot upwards, then most likely I'm thinking that we're going to buy. That's exactly what we did. We bought. So your entry here, we have the big bullish candle, break of structure. Here, these are your signs. 15-minute break of structure here. Another bullish candle. So when price comes here, this one was a little harder to trade because it sunk down into the zone. But I wanted to show you these because I want you to see that price won't always be so pretty. So here up to this point, this is a 1 to 4 right here. Breaks the structure. Here comes back, does the retest. Price, the stop loss below here. We're buying up to that zone. Okay. Let's see on the 5-minute, strong breaker structure. See on my screens, I would be looking at both. So weak, strong breaker structure here. Price comes here. Bullish pin bar, bullish candle here. This is all enough for us to enter. That's enough for us to enter. 15-minute breaker structure, 5-minute breaker structure in our zone. That's all we need. This is a strong push up to let us know that it's highly likely now that we're buying. Look at this break. Look at the break of that structure there. Okay. So this one was a more challenging, but we have such a strong 5-minute breaker structure above this zone. This is look at this. Look at the weak candles here, and then look at the candles here. This is aggressive buyers coming in. Aggressive buyers came into the market at the open, or right before the open. Okay. Then at the open, that's when it blasted off. Here, right after the open, bullish candle started blasting up. If you didn't get in here, you need to get in about here at the open. Boom, we're gone. Okay. So if you look to the left over here, there are some positions. I'll let you come back if you trade US 30. You can see here's some other positions that were easier to get into because it didn't go so quite low in the zone. But when you see that breaker structure, 15-minute candle, 5-minute breaker structure in your zone, that's all you need to shoot. All right, we're moving on to the next setup.